Hello everybody and welcome back to some more FoolCraft 3. In today's episode I have a lot of plans to hopefully get completed because unfortunately last episode, whilst we got a lot done in the form of this, there were some things that I had to sort of cancel and not do then, but I would move them to today, see if we can get them. It should be relatively easy. The very first one, I actually realized we have all the stuff we need for it, and it's actually an item from one of my favorite mods, actually, from Project E. It's a mod that, technically, E, equivalent exchange and Project E, I'm counting them as the same thing. I have, dealt with this mod for years and years, and I do love it, even though it could be considered cheaty by quite a lot of people. But what I want to do is get started with this. And the way we do that, obviously, we have all these really cool items. And you always start off, because this stuff takes a while to get, you always start off with the Philosopher's Stone, which requires 4 blocks of glowstone, 4 blocks of redstone, and a block of diamond. If we go in here, we should have all our diamonds, our redstone, and 4 blocks of glowstone ready for that. So I'm just going to create the blocks now. And that should be everything together for that. We'll make that. And we'll get our redstone back. That is the alchemist's best friend. It is a lovely item that allows us to do some stuff. If I press apostrophe, which is probably conflicting with another item or another thing, we could use the crafting table, or we could use this one on the floor. But with this, we can do a load of cool things. So, for example, we can turn cobblestone into regular stone, or grass into sand, or vice versa. And woods, logs into different logs. So we can turn all these into different ones. It's quite nice. But the reason we love it so much is because we can, for example, turn emeralds into diamonds, diamonds into emeralds, diamonds into gold, gold into iron, iron into nothing really, except back into gold. So, for example, if we could grab ourselves an emerald, we could make, I think it's 32 iron. I'm not quite sure on the number exactly. So if we go and grab ourselves a villager quickly, I'm looking at it. It looks like a lot of our villagers are possibly being killed because I can only see 3. Actually, no, there's a load on the map over here, but that guy there was unfortunately a villager at some point. But what I'm looking for specifically is a farmer like this guy, who we can take our crops that we have made, we can turn them into emeralds, and then we can go turn those emeralds back into diamonds. And diamonds are obviously a very, very nice thing to have and can help us, progress even further. So what I want to do is grab some carrots, I guess, and some potatoes, since we've been using all our wheat for our food, and I want to just trade that over and show, or at least get started with having these, more diamonds. So we can do this and that. That will give us 3, which in turn is going to give us 6 diamonds, which if we want to can turn into 4 gold each, which can turn to 8 silver each, or 8 iron rather each, so that's 64. So each diamond gives us a full stack of iron, which is pretty nice. And then we can obviously also transfer that back into gold, into diamonds, and then back into emeralds. That's the one I'm looking for, the emeralds, if we want to. So that is made. I just wanted to have it. It's always nice, plus it allows us to change things a lot easier, and also it's a really good way for growing dirt, because you can turn the dirt into sand and then the sand into grass straight away. It just means you don't have to wait for a few things, which is great when we're going to come to pathing this place out, because paths are you can only do them on grass, and you have to wait for that to happen. And we're definitely going to do some terraforming around here at some point. We're going to lower these down, get these pathways to actually be level, and just do a bit of terraforming to make it all look pretty and nice. But to do that, really, I need at least some silk touch for the glass panes, or at least just an ability to make more. But Philosopher's Stone is now made. Let's get on to the next thing. And that next thing is going to be the redstone furnace, which we're going to be placing up where this coal generator is, and we are going to be making a trivection chamber for it as well. It should be a relatively easy thing to build. If we look up redstone furnace, it's, from what I can remember, relatively easy. We just need some clay. That's probably going to be the hardest bit here. We need a gold, 2 redstone, a redstone there, 2 iron for that, 8 copper, 8 clay, 4 iron, 4 glass, another iron, and some tin. And considering how much iron we just got, we should probably be okay for that. So looking at it, we have no clay. Is there any way to make clay using the Philosopher's Stone? That is the first thing I want to quickly look at. Doesn't look like there is. So we're going to have to go to the river. Luckily, we're on one. And we're probably... hopefully going to be lucky. Yeah, there's some clay right over here. We just need 2 of these. And with this clay, we're just going to throw it in the alloy smelter. That should be relatively quick to go through. It is smelting 3 at a time, so it will take a little bit longer. But everything else should be an easy make. We're going to need some copper. Do we actually have any copper? I don't think we do, so we're going to have to make 8 of those, and then we need 2 tin ore to do that. We'll set those up in there. And that should start smelting. Let's make sure this is... Yep, it is pulling from the top. So those should, after that, be pretty much everything we need except some glass, which I don't know if we'll have any already. Does not look like it. However, we can quite easily just take 4 of this dirt, get the Philosopher's Stone, increase the power of this, and there we are. 4 sand easily made. So then we can throw that into here, and all these will start smelting properly. We're going to get rid of these seeds as well, because we don't really need them up there. And once this is all done, that should, from my understanding, be pretty much everything that we need for this. It's a really quick process, especially with the increase in iron, which I think is the most, or like the resource that gets used the most during this. So, you know, it's pretty nice to be able to so quickly, you know, make that now. So, these copper gears, I'm waiting for 1 more copper, aren't I? Because it does it by 3s. There we are. Another copper gear. And then we just need the tin and the glass, which is what we're waiting for. Okay, that should be everything now ready for creating this. So, that gear... that the machine frame, and as our redstone furnace. However, this is a basic redstone furnace, so the unfortunate thing about that, whilst it will be able to work and will have power there, it cannot have any augments. It requires an upgrade, so we need a hardened upgrade, which is this thing, and that is a bit of a pain to make in some regards. So we got 2 redstone, we need a bronze gear and some invar ingots, 4 of them, which annoyingly each recipe makes 3. So we're going to have to make some of those, which we're going to do in the sag mill, or the alloy smelter rather, with a nickel and 2 iron ingots, which, you know, we have hopefully got some nickel in here. If not, I think we can get it possibly from somewhere else. I've got some nickel, that's fine, so we can do that, and then it's going to be 2 sets of iron, and we just have to make sure those don't get sent through here. In fact, we can actually just set it to alloys only, and that actually should work out properly. Okay, so we should now be starting to craft up the copper and tin into bronze, and then we're going to have the nickel and the iron into there as well. So as soon as these are gone through, we'll set that up. There we are. That should make everything we need for the hunt upgrade kit. But whilst that is crafting, how about we get started on the trivection chamber, which is going to be the next thing we need to make. So for that, we need a copper gear, a silver plate, 2 of them, a set of bricks again, and a redstone conductance coil, which is going to require 2 redstone and some electrum. The way we make that then is through a piece of gold and silver. So we should have some a silver ore, 1 silver ore, which is a little bit of a pain that we only have the 1, and the gold ore there as well. So we'll put those through here as well, so that they can get crafted up. And we also need to go pick up some more of the clay, and I also just realized we need to also find some more silver, because we also need silver for the silver plates, and by only having 1 silver ore, we can only do 1 or the other. We cannot make both the things with silver. So we need to find some silver ore if we can. There we are, exactly what we came looking for, some silver. Now let's just not die from skeleton, and we should be good. We're back, we have our bread, we have our food, and we should have everything ready for our trivection chamber, as well as everything in here should now be created for the thing that we need, you know, in order to create these gears. So we have exactly enough, actually we have more than enough for what we need for that. So we need 1 bronze gear, and then we just need that and 2 bits of redstone, which luckily we have a lot of. That is then going to go there, and that should upgrade this. So it has more power and also can now have an augmentation in it, which is perfect because that is exactly what we need in order to get everything sorted. So what do we need? We need a copper gear, 2 silver ingots and the silver plates, the conductance core, which is going to be electrum, which is going to be gold and silver. So 3 silver, 2 redstone, some bricks, and 4 copper and 1 iron. Now for the silver plates, we have to get an engineer's hammer. Luckily for us, right over here, right there, is one of the buildings for that mod, which is... I don't know which mod it is. Let's check. Immersive engineering, and it gives us a hammer on the outside of the building, so that is perfect for our use. We shall use that to our advantage, and it's relatively easy to craft, I think. Some sticks, some iron, and some string, so it's not a massively cheaty thing to have one of those in a village, but it just speeds things up that tiny little bit extra, so it just makes things a little bit nicer to get through. So we need another silver to make the gear like so. Augment is now made, and what that'll allow us to do, once we've added it, if we take our flour from here and also the remaining bread, we can take this flour, for example, we'll actually set it to go into... Actually, no, we'll make another crate first because I don't want it going into the sag mill straight away. And small storage crate ready for our redstone furnace. So that's going to output, and I think it can input from there, but we can take our flour, for example, it's going to smelt through there. That's going to give us 2 bread, and then for every single bread we put through here, it's going to give us 2 toast. So that now means that 1 flour turns into 4 toast, which is just basically going to mean, for example, this stack is now going to be 2 stacks. A stack of flour will be 4 stacks of toast. You can see how useful that will be, especially if we got a culinary generator. That could be useful because toast can do quite a bit. If we look up at toast, culinary generator can do 38,400 RF at a minute time with 32 RF per tick. However, that is not going to be what we do for our power generation. I actually have another plan for our power generation, which is something I've never actually done before in modded. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to be using actually addition stuff. Yes, we have it over here. We got the canola press and the crusher. However, if we destroy these, they will not break for it. Well, they'll break, but they won't give us anything, which is a bit of an issue there, obviously. So we're going to be using this, but none of these ones. If we look up Actually Additions is quite a big mod. It's got a lot of items, and the one we are looking for in particular is something called an oil generator, because that will power via canola oil. So what we need, quite simply, is 2 iron casing, a piece of canola, and some cobblestone. Assuming we have canola, we should do. So if I'm correct, then we should have canola down here. We'll get rid of this grass area. We won't particularly need it, and when we do replace it, we can use the Philosopher's Stone. But luckily for us, we have exactly 1 canola seed. That is going to give us some canola here. I'm going to use 3 of those to make some more canola seeds and place those down there then, because that's what we really need. And we only need 1 canola to actually make the thing. So we can take 2 of these and then some cobblestone over here, and that should be able to create this oil generator then for our creation of stuff. So oil generator is going to be our main way of generating power now, because it's actually really good from my testing. So oil generator is going to be there, and you have different buckets of canola you can use. You can either use regular canola, that's fine enough, refined canola, which is what you actually get from putting it in a fermenter, I think is called. Down here there should be one, a fermenting barrel. Then you can make crystallized oil by putting a crystallized canola seed in the refined canola oil, or you can put an empowered oil bucket, or get an empowered oil bucket by putting a empowered canola seed, I think, in just a refined one. I don't think you have to put it in the empowered one or crystallized one. Each of these will make different RF per ticks, but from what I've tested, crystallize is kind of good enough for what we're probably going to need. So all we need to do is just sit down here, crouch, wait until this canola grows, to 100%. So that should be enough canola for the moment. What we now need to do is I'm going to take this coal generator, I'm going to put it on this canola press because this is what we need to power quickly. You can see there's canola in here. In fact, we could have started with that. We now have 50 of that. We have 800 millibuckets of canola oil, which means currently we cannot pick it up, which is a little unfortunate. But what we can do is you can just go empty our water bucket, which I'm going to go do now. There. And we are going to have a look in here as well, 320. Okie dokie. So we're going to start powering this. That's all we have to start with. So we can just get the coal in there. Eventually we can power this just using another capacitor bank because it's very, very close actually to the generator up here. This actually should be the generator here. So we can actually power it via that when it comes down to it. But this is now going to create some of this. We're going to take it. We're going to turn it into the fermenting barrel, which is not going to take any power, but it's just going to eventually ferment it. And we can eventually automate this whole process. It's not actually that difficult to automate. It shouldn't be, at least. You just get a canola field with some sort of farmer. I think we've got Ender, well, we have Ender, so we can use a farmer. We can then put this into the canola press. We can then, you know, power the canola press, obviously. Take that through a cable, put it into the fermenting barrel, probably a few barrels if it comes down to it. And then we can just ship it off up to the oil generator, which will probably power the entire thing. So once this gets to 1,000, we'll see how this works. But before we get into that, we need to grab one of these canola seeds. And the way to make an empowered canola seed is going to be by putting it in a or in front of an atomic reconstructor. And then the way to make the empowered ones is through the empowerer. Who'd have thought it? But crystallized canola seed and 4 regular canola seeds will then make one of those. But to do that, we're just going to get rid of this guy. We're going to throw it on the ground. Use that to power it up. We're then going to take a bucket of refined canola, do that, and throw that in the bucket. That will then give us the crystallized oil bucket, which, if we put into here, right-click into there rather, will give us 1,000 millibuckets. Use 50 millibuckets per time and gives us 100 CF per tick for 280 ticks. So that's, what, 28,000? So that's a really nice new way of making power that should hopefully suffice for the redstone furnace sag mill. And also the alloy smelter that we have for the moment seems to be doing a very good job, and I do like the way it works. It's quite simple power when you actually think about it, and we just need to set up a proper farm for these things now, which I will probably just set up, as I said, down here, since this seems to have not been touched at all, because it looks like all the villagers are up that side instead of over here, which I guess is fair enough because these guys are probably being killed off. However unfortunate that is. So there's 2 more things I want to do as well. The first thing is back onto the canola sort of. I want to make a watering can because whilst we can just shift all day, I feel like shifting plus a water can might be also better, and it's really cheap to make, so it's not going to be a huge issue. So we need to get 4 stone, which will be easy. I don't think cobblestone works, it seems, and just 3 wood. So if we go into here, should be able to just get one of those, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should be everything for that. And whilst we're up here, because we have this lovely thing here, we can create it whilst we're up here. So once these go through, that should be everything for a watering can. And it's just nice because it's just a nice thing to have. You can't upgrade it or anything. I guess you can add enchantments for some reason. But yeah, no real reason, I don't think. Just a nice thing to have. So it should be like that. There we are, watering can made, and that should again just speed up our tick rate on certain blocks and crops, which will just be a nice little thing. Okay, so everything is now together for our next thing we want to make, and that is going to be an upgraded capacitor bank. Now that we have a better way of actually creating power via this oil generator, what I want to do is create a higher tier one of these so we can have a higher capacity. We can go from 1 million RF to 5 million RF, and then this will actually maybe be able to be at its full potential, and this will be able to keep up. But to do that, we need a few things. We need some energetic alloy, we need a double layer capacitor, and we need another basic capacitor bank on top of the one we've already got. Now, I've gotten everything together in my inventory to do that. We're just going to need to throw a few things through the sag mill and through the other systems as well, the alloy smelter and such. Okay then, so I'm hoping with this we should now have everything together to not only make the capacitor bank, but also upgrade our current basic capacitors that we have on here. So we're going to have to create the double layer capacitor first, which we're just going to make like that. And then we are going to craft this thing up. But first we need to grab our current capacitor bank because we need that to upgrade. Really? You can do this to me? And with that, we should now be able to create this regular capacitor bank, which is really, really nice. Place that one right there, and that should now have 5 million RF in that thing. But what we're also going to do is create some more basic capacitors, and we're going to do that pretty simply via that. We're also, I've just realized, going to need 2 pulverized coal. But luckily, that doesn't take too long. We actually got some extra pulverized coal with it, as well as some sulfur. That's quite nice. So, put those 2 in there. That's going to be 2 double layer capacitors, which are now going to increase the speed, as well as the max power, I think, of what these machines can do. So, it's 3 times the max usage in this one, and 3 times the max usage in that, which just means everything is going to be that much faster when actually processing, which is going to be really nice. So now what we need to do is, I think because we destroyed the oil generator, it's run out of everything, plus this thing is losing a lot of power, we are now going to have to get some more canola, throw it in there. We should also have a second bucket's worth of canola in here already, and throw it in there as well, so that this thing can start creating more canola for us, and we can get on making this power. But that is going to be it for now. I have made everything and more than what I wanted. Power, better power, increased power capacity, redstone furnace, our food setup, and philosopher's stone. Let's not forget that. But that is going to be it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll get on to all that stuff in the next episode. But I'll see you then. Bye-bye.